Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is March 9th, 2021. Today is the 24-year anniversary since the death of the Notorious B.I.G. And I made a video last year on March 9th, but since my channel got taken down, that video is no longer available. So I'm going to go through the things that I spoke about last year, all the things that we noticed about his death, and also point out a couple of things that we noticed about the Tupac Shakur death as well. And we're going to just refresh people's memory, because there's no doubt that these two rappers, they were, I guess you could say they was murdered by the numbers, but there's a part of me that believes that both of these rappers faked their deaths by the numbers. Something that we see a lot, even today, rappers today. For example, last year, the rapper Pop Smoke, who was also from Brooklyn, died in L.A. His death is very suspicious, like many others, like Nipsey Hussle, XX Tentacion, the rapper Juice WRLD, who supposedly had an overdose, but nobody saw his funeral or heard anything about his funeral. So we've seen a lot of rappers fake their deaths in the past, and there's no doubt that these two rappers definitely faked their deaths. But that's not what I want to prove in this video. What I want to show you guys is how their deaths, quote unquote, were done by a very systematic code known as Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. And their deaths are very much similar, because both of these men, they both died on dates with 38 numerology, a very faithful number. The word rappers 38, just like murder, death, killing, R.I.P. Of course, even today we see rappers go out by the 38 code, right? Pop Smoke, and also a name that sums to 38. We also had last year, also the rapper King Von died. King Von is also 38. We also had the death of a rapper called, his name was Little Marlo from Atlanta, who died 38 weeks after Kobe Bryant. And Little Marlo is also 38. So that number shows up all the time. And that is one of the numbers in these, both of their ritual deaths, Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. So it's also amazing how 2021 marks the 24-year anniversary. And of course, that's a special number with Kobe Bryant. He wore the number 24 as a player. And just think about how his hometown, Brooklyn, has the potential to be in the NBA Finals versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, he died in Los Angeles, born in Brooklyn. I mean, what are the odds of that? But if you notice up here, Tupac was born Tupac Amaru Shakur. He was born June 16th, 1971. He died on September 13th, 1996. And Biggie Smalls was born Christopher George Latour Wallace. He was born on May 21st, 1972. He died on March 9th, 1997. And Tupac was 25 years old. Biggie, he was about to turn 25, but you can say he was on his 25th year of his life, because you have to count also the 9 months that he was in his mom's stomach. So technically, when you're born, you're on your first year of life, right? So technically, Biggie Smalls was 25 years old. So you could say both men was 25 years old. And of course, the word death is 25. Just think about the odds of that. Two of the biggest names in hip-hop, they both died at the age of 25 in the same location. They both died in L.A. Strange, right? And notice this. Like I pointed out, they both died on days with the 38 numerology. Tupac Shakur, he died first. He died on a day with 38 numerology. And then Biggie Smalls died on day with 38 numerology. And notice from Tupac's last birthday to the death of Biggie Smalls, it was 38 weeks after. Tupac was born on June 16th. And Biggie Smalls died 38 weeks after his birthday. And of course, rappers 38. Even the term thug life that Tupac used a lot is 38. Hit 'em Up, from the song that he did. It was a song dedicated to Biggie Smalls. It was like a diss song. It was a diss record. Hit 'em Up, 38. And think about it. That's exactly what happened. Biggie Smalls got hit up 38 weeks after his birthday. So BMW is 38. Tupac Shakur was killed in a BMW. The word killing is 38. Death is 38. Murder is 38. Right. This is supposed to be the vehicle that Tupac Shakur died in, alongside Suge Knight. And this was after the shooting. I mean, it's truly amazing how they was doing this stuff by the numbers even back then, where nobody had an idea that this stuff was going on. They really did a great job of keeping this stuff a secret for so long. But thankfully, it's no longer a secret. But like I pointed out, Tupac Shakur was born June 16th, 1971. He died September 13th. And the day he died, that's the day that could be written 13/9 like 139. His name sums to 139, Tupac Shakur. Just like Freemasonry. So he died on 13/9. Tupac Shakur is 139. Think about that. And his full name also sums to 193, which is just another rearrangement of the number 139. And notice he was the passenger in that vehicle, which also sums to 139. He died on 13/9, the passenger of the BMW. The term assassinated is 193, which connects back to his name, right? Tupac Amaru Shakur. He's also 193. 193 is also the 44th prime. The word kill and execution is sums to 44. But he died 277 days before his upcoming birthday that year. And that's the 59th prime number. The word kill is 59. Right? 277 to 59 prime. Of course, that's a number stamped on black people throughout history, right? Blues, Negro, Rasta, slave is all 59. He also died 147 days after Suge Knight's birthday, and Suge Knight was supposed to be in the vehicle with him. And notice Freemason is 147 and 96. The year was 96. And then he died 147 days after Suge Knight's birthday. And remember the album that he put out in that year, titled All Eyes on Me, came out on February 13th? From the release of this album, it came out on 2/13. It came out on February 13th, 2/13. From the release of this album to the day that he was murdered, it was 213 days later. And the album came out on 2/13. And he died in a drive-by shooting, which sums to 213. The word death also sums to 213 as well. Just think about the odds of that. You know, he puts out this album on 2/13. That's 213 days later in the drive-by shooting. Some other things that I found interesting is that supposedly this was the fight that, because if you guys remember the story, Tupac was at this fight. He was at the Mike Tyson fight. He had an altercation with some people, and I guess moments after he was gunned down, and they was blaming that fight. They were saying that fight that he had at the casino was the reason why he was murdered that night, but that's not the truth. But this fight, it was Mike Tyson versus a man named Bruce Seldon. This fight was on September 7th, 1996. This was a couple of days before his death, right? I know many of you are familiar with the story. You've seen all the footages, right? And the day was also 9/7, like the word death is 97, like how Biggie Smalls died on 9/7. But this fight fell on the day with 131 and 41 numerology, and Mike Tyson is 131 and 41. So that was a perfect day for Mike Tyson to win. I don't remember if he won that fight because I will have to go back and look. But it looks like Mike Tyson was 44 and 1. So maybe he picked up his 44th win that day. 44. And speaking of Mike Tyson, Tupac Shakur died 76 days after Mike Tyson's birthday. Of course, Negro, Rasta, slave all sums to 76 and 59, right? Tupac also had an album called Machiavelli, with, him on the cross. All these Jesuit rituals have to do with Jesus Christ. This is why a lot of rappers get the cross tattoos on their faces now. This stuff is going on. It has been going on for years. Rappers associated with the cross. But this album was also released on a day with 131 and 41 numerology. Those numbers that connect to Mike Tyson. But notice Machiavelli is 74, Tupac is 74. 74 is a number that connects to rappers, right? Rapper 74. So Tupac, and I think Biggie Smalls also has the 74 connection. Most rappers have the 74 name. Hey, Nipsey is 74, and a lot more. The 74, it's a number that connects to Gematria. The way Jesus is 74, English is 74, Jewish is 74, and a lot more. So they always code the number 74 in the names of these rappers. His mother, Afina Shakur, she died at the age of 69, and her name, Afeni Shakur Davis, something 69. So makes sense for her to die at the age of 69. I have a lot of Tupac stuff in here. I want to get into the Biggie stuff there. Okay, so here it is. So the Tupac stuff, okay, I guess I can finish it off. You know, these are all his films. All his films were released by the numbers, all of them. You know, he had a movie called, I think his first film was titled Nothing But Trouble. His second film was Juice, probably his most popular movie. That came out on the day with 39 numerology. And of course, the character he played was Bishop, a name of Assumption 33, like the name of the movie Juice. And then he also had a basketball movie titled Above the Rim. Came out on March 23rd, 1994. That came out on the day with 139 numerology. Think about it. He died on 13/9, like how Tupac Shakur's 139. And this was also one of his most popular movies. Came out on the day with 139 numerology. Go figure. And then he had this film titled Bullet. This actually came out after he died. It was released on October 1st, so just days after his death. He died on September 13th, so just a couple of weeks after. And it came out actually 18 days after. And the name Bullet, the name of the movie, sounds 18. Isn't that remarkable? The movie comes out 18 days after his death, and the name of the movie sounds 18. Man, this stuff is really unbelievable. And then he had another movie called Gridlock. Came out on January 29th, 1987. He was already dead by then, supposedly. He was still making movies, though, somehow. And the movie came out 139 days after his death. And, of course, that number connects back to the day that he died, right? On 13/9. Crazy stuff, I know. And then, finally, he had a movie titled Gang Related. Sums of 49, just like Tupac Shakur. But Biggie Smalls, right? So today is his 24th anniversary. This is a photograph of moments before he was gunned down. Coincidentally, he just happens to have this jacket on, made by the name brand Averix, which has the same gematria as murder. He ends up getting murdered with this jacket on. And the company that makes this jacket, you know, the name of the coat is Averix, but the company's name is Averix USA, which sums to 39, like the date that he was gunned down on 3/9. But this was his vehicle. It was supposed to be shot 4 times. Of course, they always code the number 4 in it because the number 4 is associated with killing and death in Chinese culture. And the word death, and I guess the word death, I'm not sure what it was, but the way you pronounce the number 4 in the word death, I think it's the same in Chinese culture. I could be mistaken about that, but that's where the number 4 is associated with death. It's through Chinese culture. I'm not sure if it's death or killing, but one of those words is pronounced the same as the number 4. So this was his vehicle. He was gunned down. Passenger. The passenger was gunned down. Another passenger. Just think about those coincidences, right? Both of these rappers have very similar deaths. They were both 25. Both died on day with 38 numerology. Both died in Los Angeles. Both were passengers of vehicles. I mean, come on, you guys got to stop believing in coincidences. How can all this stuff just line up this way? How? And then he died on the 68th day of the year. Tupac Shakur equals 68. Oh my goodness. And just think about him having an album titled Ready to Die, and then he dies. Just like how Pop Smoke had a song called Welcome to the Party, and then he was gunned down at at a mansion where he was having a party at. Just like this rapper recently who died during the All-Star, what was it, Saturday, I think? He died during NBA All-Star weekend recently, just a couple of days ago. His name was Chucky Trill. He died in Atlanta. He had a mixtape titled From Houston to Atlanta. And the guy's from Houston and died in Atlanta. And he had a mixtape titled From Houston to Atlanta. And that's exactly what happened to him. He traveled from Houston to Atlanta and then was killed in Atlanta. I mean, we see this type of stuff all the time. The Notorious B.I.G. He puts on an album called Ready to Die, and then he dies. And notice the title of the album is 164, just like the Notorious B.I.G. So the perfect name for the rapper, which goes to show you that they're naming these albums, they're naming these rappers accordingly. They all have the same gematria. One of his most popular songs is a song called Juicy. This is the song where he talks about blowing up like the World Trade. And remember, in 1993, the World Trade Center bombing occurred, right? In 1993. And then he died on March 9th on 9/3 or 3/9. Blow up like the World Trade. And that was released on the day before numerology. Connects back to Tupac Shakur. And his most popular line in that whole song, I think he starts off the song saying, "It was all a dream," right? And it sums to 139, just like Tupac Shakur, just like how Tupac was killed on 13/9. I mean, this stuff is truly remarkable how they do it by the numbers. I mean, unbelievable stuff. And Tupac Shakur is also 49, right? It was all a dream is also 49. The 239 also connects to Tupac because his full name is 239. So it was all a dream was coded the numbers was coding the name, Tupac's name. And then, in the song he also says, I used to read Word Up magazine. Word Up is 97. Just like how he died in 1997. The name Carter is also 97. And think about Jay-Z, who was born Sean Carter and got real popular in the year 97. And this is why, in the other videos that I made a video recently. I think it was in the Chucky Trill video, the rapper that died during the NBA All-Star weekend, who died in Jimmy Carter Boulevard. I brought up the fact that I think that the 39th U.S. president is Jimmy Carter. Wow. Another 3-9 and Carter connection right there. But I think Jimmy Carter's going to die at the age of 97 because Carter equals 97. So the 39th president, isn't that amazing? The 39th president is currently 96 years old. So I'm thinking he's probably going to die after he turns 97. But isn't that remarkable though? Because here we are talking about Biggie Smalls, who died on 3/9, and Jay-Z, who was born Sean Carter, and the 39th U.S. president was Jimmy Carter. I think there's something there with that. And then they just had this rapper from Chucky Trill died in Jimmy Carter Boulevard. I mean, it's just truly remarkable this web that these people created. And then look at the cover of the magazine Word Up. It says Tupac lives. Yeah, I bet he does. But that quote sums to 38 as well. Just like rapper. But Biggie Smalls was born Christopher Wallace, a name that sums to 38, just like rapper. And he also had an album called Life After Death. And you know what I think the meaning of this album is? I mean, this is what I think. I'm not saying this is true, but this is what I think the meaning of this album is. Life after death. To me, that means life after you fake your death. That's what that means to me. Because there is no life after death. There is no such thing as that. Once you die, your life is over. But if you fake your death, then technically you do have life because you faked your death. And I think that's what these rappers are doing. I think these rappers fake their deaths by the numbers and go on. I don't know where they're at. Don't ask me where they're at. But they go on and live their normal life. They'll probably get some plastic surgery or something done to their bodies so that people won't recognize them. But that's what I think is going on. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe that a rapper is going to put out an album called Ready to Die, and then he dies. And then he has this supposed beef with another rapper, and then both of them rappers die in very similar fashion. Come on. You gotta be brain dead. But the album, Life After Death, supposedly it went diamond. Very few albums go diamond. A lot of albums go platinum, a lot of albums go gold, but very few go diamond. And this is why. The reason this album probably went diamond is because Death sells. And the record companies know that. One of the biggest rappers in history, he goes down the way he did. And guess what? Guess who makes all the money? The record company. I mean, they sold diamond. I don't know how much records you have to sell to go diamond, but that's a lot of records. And just notice the gematria of diamond. It sums to 33 and 39, just like Biggie, just like Masonry, just like New York. I put the number 16 up there because the album came out 16 days after his death. He died on March 9th, and then the album came out on March 25th. Then the number 16 sums to the same gematria as Biggie and Diamond. But notice he died on March 9th. I've said this a million times, but March 9th was written 39. Biggie's 39. Puff Daddy's 39. He was born Sean Combs. Sean is 39, like New York. He died in the year 97. Notorious is 97. Christopher Wallace is 97. The Word Death is 97. That song that Tupac dedicated to him, Hit 'Em Up. Not only does it sum to 38, but it's also sum to 97. The guy died 38 weeks after Tupac's birthday in the year 97. The title of the song was Hit 'Em Up. And Rockefeller Records also summed to 97. Of course, Carter, right? And that's who became very popular after Mr. Biggie Smalls was murdered. Sean Carter and Rockefeller Records. But let's see what else I have it up here. But yeah, so back to the 74. This is the real reason they called the number 74 is because all these terms, they sum to 74. And of course, this code is very much biblical because it's the Jesuit behind these murders. The Society of Jesus. Notice cross, Jesus, occult. The code is named, the name of this language is Simple English Gematria. Simple 74 like English, like Gematria. And not only is this a Jewish practice, this is also a Jesuit practice. But Jewish is 74, killing is 74, rapper 74, Masonic is 74. And that's why they called all these rappers with the 74 names. Biggie Small 74, Notorious B.I.G. is 74, Tupac is 74. And there's a lot of other rappers that have the 74 connection as well, like Nipsey Hussle. And a lot more. There was also a rapper from Chicago who died on the 7400 block. And his name actually, I think, connected to the number 74 as well. Crazy stuff. And Biggie Smalls died on his mother's 35th day of her age. His mother, Valletta Wallace, she was born February 3rd. And she died on her 35th day of her age, and rap is 35. Like Catholic. And Spengali is also 35. And notice the rapper Little Kim also has a 38 connection. She goes by Queen B. Queen B is 74 and 38 like rapper. And there's also 38-4 like rapper. So this is why she's called the Queen B. It's because it's the numbers. And notice her name, Little Kim, her stage name is 30 and 42, like the N-word, like slavery. She was born Kimberly Jones. Her name sums to 59 to 76. They love those two numbers, 59 and 76, because of this. Negro, slave, Rasta blues. Number stamped on black people. And notice what year she was born, 1974. It's because they always code that number in rappers, 74. And this is another, those of you that saw the documentary of this guy's an agent, guys. Do not believe this guy. This guy's a piece of, you know what. He supposedly was a detective assigned to the Biggie Smalls killing. And supposedly he resigned from the LAPD because he figured out that they was keeping secrets. Bullshit. Nobody died that day. All this stuff is a hoax. All these people are put there in place. But yeah, so I mean, just this right here, this is proof how this stuff is just really about the numbers. What are the odds that Biggie Smalls dies 38 weeks exactly after Tupac Shakur's 25th birthday? And the word death and 38. The word death is 25 and 38. He died 38 weeks after Tupac's 25th birthday. On the day with 38 numerology. And there's probably a lot more to this ritual that I'm missing, but I'll be here all day. I mean, I think I've proven my point. This Tupac dies 213 days after his All Eyes on Me album that came out on 2/13 in a drive-by shooting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so please don't ask me where they at, because I don't know the answer to that question. If I did, I'll be showing you guys that. But since I don't, that part still remains a mystery. Where do these people go after they fake their deaths? Who knows, and really who cares, because we'll never see them again. And you notice the scarf, the black and white dualism, all masonry stuff, all symbolism. And just think about it. These two rappers are definitely dualism because they're very opposites of each other, right? This is the hardcore rapper. This is the more laid-back rapper. This is the West Coast. This is the East Coast. Right? They're opposites of each other. But yet somehow they ended up dying the same in very similar fashion. So, yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. And, of course, there's 38 people watching the video. Of course there is, YouTube. Enjoy your rest of your night. Thank you, everybody.